Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel once again. I know I just uploaded yesterday, but we got some huge stuff coming out from the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. First and foremost, look at this beautiful suit. Marvel and Sony have seriously cooked up this time with Tom Holland's newest Spidey suit. A couple hours ago, I was on Twitter watching footage from the set, and I shared a post of a stunt rehearsal which we'll talk about in a minute. I have a feeling we'll see a certain red and blue dude in the next 24 hours. Literally within 30 minutes of posting that, Marvel officially released this video on all platforms.
We ready?
This thing is going to be talked about for a while. I'm sure I'm not even the first video you've even watched on the subject. So this reveal is about double the length of how long yesterday's teaser was, and we finally get to see the blue sections. We start with a black screen and a door slowly opening like a giant hangar door. This seems to be purposeful because they still want to keep the back of the suit hidden for some reason. I think we all know the reason for that is they plan on going back to what we all know and love, the classic tick back logo. I personally think it'd be really cool if they reused the one that was planned for Civil War and never did. I think it'd work really well on this suit, or at least something similar. As the door opens up some more and lets a little bit more light inside, we can also see some new web shooters. That's right, down on Tom's wrist we can see some nice, bulky, silver web shooters, which is a very nice change of pace. All of Tom's recent suits made with Stark Tech have all had this little small device. Doesn't resemble a web shooter much at all to me, but this is something that we can work with. It reminds me of Tom's very first pair of web shooters in Civil War and Homecoming. This is the one he used with the homemade suit, and they were made with like sweatbands and several pieces. I think this looks sorta like that, just more refined in some ways, so it doesn't go all the way around the wrist. It also reminds me of the old like silly string toys from when we were kids, which is honestly pretty smart in the long run for selling merch. I love that it looks like the cartridge is like very much its own piece, so we'll probably see Peter run out and have to swap his web fluid cartridges more often in this film. Moving on from the web shooters, the doors open up a bit more and we can actually hear a crew member say Tom's name to get his attention.
We ready?
Once Tom finally turns around and walks up to the camera, we can see the full suit. Well, except for the mask. Remember how we said it was still the suit from No Way Home, just with raised webbing now? Yeah, no. Not at all, actually. This thing is closer to Andrew Garfield's suit in TASM 2 than what we saw in the last scene of No Way Home. And honestly, I could not be happier. The one thing that does remain the same is the front spider logo. Mostly. It's the same design, they just sort of pulled the bottom legs down to stretch them out longer. I definitely think this works well for the new design. It has a sharper edge, adding to the darker tones that have been reported for this movie. This leads me to believe they've definitely changed the eyes on his mask, giving it some sharper edge probably, which is why they aren't showing us that yet either. I've liked Tom's Spider-Man eyes from the beginning, but I'm not against a change at all. Personally, I really like the concept art from No Way Home, so hopefully it's something like that. Now about those blue fabrics. It's true, we did lose out on that crazy shiny blue fabric from the end of No Way Home. And I'm sure some people will be disappointed by that, but personally though, it works for me. I've adored the TASM 2 suit since I first saw it back in 2014. So this taking heavy inspiration from that does not upset me at all. We can see from yesterday's teaser the brick pattern on the red is not shiny and is flat, whereas on the blues they seem to be 3D and have a sense of shine to them, just like the TASM 2 suit did. And I can definitely understand them changing the fabric for production purposes though. It seemed pretty difficult for anyone to find a reliable, durable fabric that creates that real shiny effect. And these studios need many duplicates duplicates. Wow. No, these studios need many duplicates of these costumes in case they break, or stunts, or any other purposes that require more than one. So in the end, they just went with what they know works, and I can't blame them for that. I do think the belt is either shaped wrong or placed sorta weird. I'm not 100% sure what's off, but it's something. I'm sure I'll get used to it though. This reveal came much sooner than expected, and it's believed to be because videos are already releasing of action filming being done on set. Nobody is in costume yet, but you can expect me to report back on that when the time comes. For now, it's simply rehearsal until later tonight into tomorrow. But that doesn't mean it's not something to see. The sequence is going to be huge. We can see the crew testing this effect where a van is getting launched up into the air. This seems to be before or as one of the huge tanks is driving by. I'm not too sure. And then a little bit later in the day, we actually got video of Tom Holland's stunt double on top of the tank as it's pushing through the city. This seriously looks like it's shaping up to be just like Spider-Man PS4, and I don't think anyone is complaining about that. It's also been reported by some of the fans on set that Frank Castle's The Punisher will in fact be driving one of these tanks the whole scene. I don't know if it's the one Spidey is riding on top of in this clip or not, but nonetheless, it seems like he'll be a present force throughout the entire film. After yesterday's video, it was also officially announced that Mark Ruffalo and Michael Mando are both returning to their respective roles in the franchise, as the Hulk and Mac Gargan, who appeared in Spider-Man Homecoming and eventually becomes the Scorpion in the comic books. It's been something of 8 years since we saw Michael Mando in the role, and a lot of people, including myself, thought this end credit scene would kind of never go anywhere or get followed up on, but now we might actually get Scorpion in live action. This is really looking to be something else with all of these new rumors. There's a talk of a Kingpin appearance as well. That's unconfirmed, but if it's true, this could very likely mean that all of those theories back in 2020 about Spider-Man PS4 are actually true. Tom's Spider-Man is kind of in the exact spot Peter Parker is in at the start of that game. It would be really crazy if they take plot points from that and intertwine them with this newest MCU movie. I don't want to theorize too much in this video. I'll save that for another time, so that'll about do it up for today. If you guys are as excited as I am, please hit that like button, leave a comment about what you like most on this new suit, and subscribe if you want to see more content revolving the webhead, whether it's movie news, cosplay, or reviews. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.